So last week, I was having a conversation with one of my mentees, and she commented on how different my disposition is over the last couple of years. In this episode, I'm going to dig into the transformation that has become my life. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Brand and Hustle podcast, the no fluff, no bull broadcast for busy entrepreneurs who need fast, effective business strategies. Get ready to build your business, your brand, and your bank account with Master Brand Coach Jay Stone.
So I'm wondering if you can hear the birds chirping in the background. So I'm doing something I don't do that often. I am actually sitting in my backyard on my patio doing this podcast. And a lot of that has to do with just who I am and where I am in life. And it's very befitting given this topic. So last week, I was having a conversation with someone that I've mentored for the past 5 or 6 years. And she said, I want to tell you, that I'm really loving this transformation I'm seeing in you over the past couple of years. She said, people used to come up to me and say, hey, I think Jay is great, but I don't think I can work with her. She really seems, harsh, and she really seems like aggressive. And she said, and I've noticed that your tone is different. Your disposition is much, much easier. You seem just like lighter and easier going. And she said, and people said it's the weight loss, but I don't believe that. I just think you look like you've done a lot of personal development work. I don't know if you've been to therapy. I don't know if you're on antidepressants or something. What is it? What's caused the change? I said, well, actually, technically, it is the weight loss, but everything is related. Okay. And so in 2019, I had gastric bypass surgery, lost nearly 200 pounds. I'm still working on losing. But what happened was I had some complications for that surgery. Right. And I nearly died. Okay. So the first shift that happened before the weight started to drop significantly was I had a shift in my priorities. Okay. I had a shift in my priorities. And so in the past, my priority had been, work, get the money. And when I had to shift in the priorities, right, I dropped the weight of the priorities. The priority became spending more time with people that I love, all right? Then I lost the 200 pounds, okay? So we released physical weight. Well, releasing the physical weight and losing 200 pounds, one of the things that happened is that I was living with my family. And while it was a nice home, it was not a home that I was in love with. It was a cramped space. I was living in one room, and sharing space with my family. I didn't love my space, okay? But a lot of me being there, it was a codependent relationship. We had originally lived in the house to take care of my dad. When my dad died, by that time I was really overweight, really struggling physically with my knees, and I just needed more physical support, okay? And so losing the weight allowed me to gain my independence, right? Which allowed me to move. Okay. So now I'm moving to a space that I actually love. Okay. So now I've released weight. So in addition to that, family dynamics can be challenging, right? You have to navigate other people's issues, personalities, and maybe some shit that happened in childhood, right? So imagine living with siblings or parents or things like that, right? When you're an adult, right? And in my case, like 40, 48, 49, 50 years old, right? Everybody's like their own person living their own life with their own personality, but you're still kind of forced to live under one roof and figure out how to make it work, right? So that was the other thing that I was dealing with. A lot of people in those situations now that they're taking care of like elderly parents. Some people are taking care of grandchildren that they had not planned to raise. So family dynamics can affect who you are, right? So I had the weight of the family, right? Then there was the financial weight, right? Because I was so addicted to the hustle, right? And the hustle was my priority. I was I had a lot of high-end, highly successful clients who were very, very demanding. Okay, so I attracted a lot of high-end clients. Those clients were demanding. That caused me to hire a team. And so now I'm carrying the weight of, I have all this financial responsibility because I have these clients that have to be serviced, and I have to have a team. So I had a team that wasn't the right team, right? But because I was so overwhelmed with physical weight, social weight, emotional weight, now saddled with financial weight, I didn't have the bandwidth to take the time to hire the right team to support me. So I had a team that couldn't support me at the level that I was at. And so there was a lot of stress and a lot of weight trying to manage a team that wasn't the right team. Okay. And then I was basically putting my foot on the neck of my staff, right, to support the clients who were paying me a lot of money, but they also weren't necessarily the right clients either, right? But because the money was so great with high-end clients, right, I kept doing it. Okay, and this is not a slight against the clients. This is not a slight against my staff. This is a slight against me, right? These were the choices that I was making because I was addicted to the hustle and the money, okay? So we're carrying all of these different types of weight, okay? So let's go down the line of succession. I released the weight. Releasing the weight gave me my independence. So I moved out of my family home into my own place. And so now I've released the social weight, right? The social weight. And then I have all of this financial responsibility that I have. Well, I released all of that because I decided, okay, once I remove myself from the family dynamic, I wanted just a lighter lifestyle in terms of people. Okay, so now I released the heavy clients, the toxic clients. So you release the toxic personal life, you release the toxic professional life. You now live in a space that you love, and it's more, I guess, energetically appealing because there's energetic weight, right? And I'm focusing on doing the work that I love, right, versus the work that I have to do to stay afloat. All right, which gave me more time to spend with people that I love. So basically, I now have the life that I've always wanted, and I'm not buckling under the crushing weight, right? The physical weight, the emotional weight, the financial weight, the social weight, or the energetic weight. Okay, so again, weight comes in many forms. So I want you to take a look at your life and look at how many different ways that you are carrying weight. Are you carrying weight of expectations? That's a huge weight that people carry. What expectations do people have of you? What expectations does society have of you? What expectations does your family or friends or spouse or children have of you that bring on extra weight, that create extra stress, right? Because for me, stress showed up in my disposition, it showed up in my personality, but it shows up in your blood pressure, right? It shows up in your mental health. It shows up in, other things that may be happening in your body, okay? All right. So what weight of expectations are you carrying? What financial weight are you carrying? Right. Sometimes we want to live in a fancy house or drive a certain kind of car, but that creates the crushing weight of now I got to pay these bills. And with everyone talking about a recession, right, that's more pressure. That's more weight. Right. How do we reduce the amount of stress, reduce the amount of weight, reduce the amount of pressure that we are carrying? Those are some of the questions that you have to start asking yourself. All right. So we've talked about expectations, the weight of expectations. Social weight is huge, particularly for women, right? Because we want to show up and be a good spouse, right? A good partner. We want to show up and be a good mom. We want to just in general, right? We have the pressure of being a good person because women are judged very differently in how they show up in society. So there's the pressure of how do things look, right, to other people. Okay. So we have all of these pressures. And so what I want to do today is to give you the permission, okay, to release the weight. I want to give you permission to remove the pressure in whichever way you feel it. And I really would like to know in the comments, tell me, what kind of pressure, what kind of weight would you like to focus on releasing from your life? That's it for me today. I hope you've enjoyed the birds in the background because I've released a lot of weight in my life and these birds are a symbol of that. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks for listening.
Don't worry, there are more episodes of Brand and Hustle on the way. But if you can't wait to learn more badass business strategies, head on over to jaistone.com. That's JAISTONE.com. We'll see you next time.